welcome to week 2. Can you believe it? Here is episode 10 of An Apple a Day with Dr. Amanda. So please like, share, and subscribe, and tell a friend if you like this. If you're already subscribed, hello. I'm so glad to see you. If you're new, welcome. I hope that you enjoy this, and I hope that you learned something with this and check back on some of my other videos that may be of use for you. So I actually basically talk about, have different people interviewed and have different fun days that talk about things that help us with empowering voices, speaking, and having lessons learned. And so this is Focus Friday, and Focus Friday is all about taking all of the wisdom that we learned through the week and really recalibrating, or I'd say refocusing on how can I take some of that and apply it, or what resources did I love the most. And so this week, it was amazing. I had the pleasure of having Craig Miller as my guest, and he talked on part 1 and 2 on anxiety and depression and gave us practical tips. And he has many book resources, such as When Feelings Don't Come Easy. He has many tips like emotional barriers to healing and having different things in the back where you can see your symptoms in your body and how that mind-body connection happens, where we have emotions that end up causing physical pain or come back to the events. And he also has Know Your Worth. So he has many resources that he has, and he also has a website, Insights from the Heart. And he has many other videos that show how he works with patients over 38 or 39 years in the field. So he's amazing and a plethora of information. So again, we had Craig the whole time, we just had him, and that's amazing. So he'll be back again to talk on some other topics and conversations as we continue. So Craig, again, talked to us a lot about anxiety. He explained about the different types of anxiety, and he told us about what's healthy anxiety versus not, and even how that can be carried over and even within family and how to handle that. And also he showed us how can we release a lot of those emotions so that we can, again, get to those sources of the root of our concerns. He also talked during depression about what depression is and what are some of the symptoms, and also how depression can look differently even with men and women and how that may look. Now, one thing I really liked about Craig is he even talked about with men and women how we may navigate our conversations together. A lot of times for men, based on their bio-brain framework, they really is helpful to say, what are you thinking? Whereas women, we tend to be more feeling, so what are you feeling? And so again, is incredible information and has done this technique and worked with people on different techniques to help them feel safe and also help them to release things that they have had even from childhood. So Craig has some incredible talks. Now that 2 30-minute topics are just such a small amount of time. I've had the fortune and luxury to have training with Craig and overtime, and he has so many things, but again, in his books, you'll get those resources. I listed that on here. The other thing is I talked on Wisdom Wednesday about what is anxiety and depression and what are some of the different resources, such as the American Counseling for Association, even giving some hotlines for you and also other resources. And I talked about what they were, again, according to those sites. So that was another one that you have from the gold nuggets of what does that look like. And again, that may look a little different for each person as to how the symptoms would go or how it impacts us. Although there are some from the Diagnostic Statistical Manual 5 that really show some of those criterion. But again, how it presents in people may look a little different based on each person. So again, that was really our topic this week. And some of the lessons that he really talked about, and one thing is feeling safe. So he always talks about repatterning our brain and our REM cycle. And so he talked about, us feeling safe. So he even showed some of the tapping where when we are doing this, it's helping us to have our left and our right hemisphere in the brain really connect so that we can get to what pain source we're having. Or sometimes we might have some physical pain, but it's really emotions that have tied to that or an event. So for example, it could be if we're really anxious in our neck, sometimes he says, okay, who's your biggest pain in your neck? And that's happened with me. And I was like able to realize that. And as soon as I went through that and released the emotions, I didn't have my neck stiffness. And sometimes we can perceive that, or sometimes it's us taking on burdens or responsibility. So Craig really also said one other wisdom tip he had was stay off the media. Stay off the news, right? Don't watch it 24/7. It's not very healthy. I would agree. Maybe watch it once a day or check the news once a day. Craig also said be around people that will uplift you, that will be positive, and that speak really healthy to you. And that's important too for your own self-respect. So again, when you're dealing with some things such as, health or depression, you want to have some safe people in your life. And sometimes, perhaps, audience, you may not have them. And I hope that you do find them, again, as we're going through different things on mental health, because it is real. And there's so many different levels of mental health or complex trauma, and a lot of us have been through things as humans. And that's one thing we can relate to. Not one of us on this planet has ever just had anything without any type of hard event, right? There's all kinds of loss and grief and different things that happen in families and structures and jobs and different things we do. So again, just thinking about this area of anxiety and depression, if you are going through that, I would certainly recommend that you look at Craig's Tuesday, Thursday interviews. Now, again, he'll be on again, and he does work in both faith-based and secular, meaning people that may not be in his Christian faith, but he uses this with people who don't have that faith. And again, it could be a safe person as you go through and release the emotions. But it's really incredible. And he's had hundreds probably by now, because he's always working with people, thousands of people, be able to release emotions or even have release of emotional and or physical pain or both. And so it's really incredible, because in this day we want to have innovative practices that, again, he's been working for years in the field and has been able to take the techniques he's learned and put this together based on evidence and based on things that he's been trained in, and make it really practical and applicable for every person to do. So again, if you're tuning in, he really had some great talks about the brain, about the mind-body connection, really deep understanding of anxiety and depression, and how you can overcome that, again, by even being able to learn how to release your emotions, saying how you're feeling, being able to do things that you enjoy every day, being able to do that love hug, and he modeled how to do that or how to go through some of that, and also to have that positive people in your life. So again, hopefully you enjoyed that for Focus Friday. If you suffer from anxiety or depression, you know people, again, you might be able to show them those videos. You might go to his site to look at what he's done. He even has examples of how he went through it, so you can adapt it depending on your needs. And so, and we're getting in touch with him because he's incredible and he has so much knowledge. So again, hopefully that is a lot of wisdom tips, really recapping the week. Now, next week, we're actually going to go into something that's important as well. And this is our emotional health, right? And even looking at it. And next week, we're going to be talking with Javi, Tana, and also looking at talking with Keisha all about health and wellness and different ways that they've gone through or their wellness journey, wellness tips, different things they do, and different insights to keep you going. So I love you. You're amazing. You're incredible. I'm so glad you're here on this planet. There's no one like you. And I hope you tune in again next week for a health and wellness week. So again, this is our shorter version, because sometimes we just need shorter times and other times are a little longer. So you can pick and choose what videos you want to use or what you need. And again, taking everything that you learned from Craig on those 2 days or myself, and you may have a different tip that you got out of it. And that's the beauty of it. We all might get something different that we need just to help us. And so I hope you have a wonderful week. I think you're amazing, and I'll see you next week. So like, share, subscribe on YouTube. And again, know that this is also going to be on podcast. It may look a little different, but Monday through Fridays, I'm here on YouTube. Take care, and I'll see you next week. Bye.